Good evening, everyone, Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. This is the 1581st regular meeting of the Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Anne, held at City Hall on Monday, January 7th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Alderman Shy, will you lead the board and the audience in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No, it's Amy, Mike.
They won't be able to hear me. Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
All right. Matt, roll call, please.
Yep, everybody, Becca is on her way, and Ivan and Kathy are via my phone.
Okay, I want to inform the audience of the agendas and public speaker cards available at the back of the room. If a resident would like to address the board during the public comment section of the agenda, please fill out a speaker card and have it ready. I want to remind everyone that this is a meeting of the Board of Aldermen, and public comments will be entertained during the specific times set aside on the agenda. Okay, board, I will need approval of minutes. 10/28/24 committee meeting and 11/4/24 regular meeting, please. Need a motion for a first and second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, minutes are approved. Okay, we'll have a public hearing for a special use permit for 10441 International Plaza Drive, a senior assisted living facility. Can you come on up? Would you like to tell us what you're doing and?
St. Anne Assisted Living is the assisted living for it's assisted it's assisted living place for people older than I think they were 54. So that's
Okay, and you want to tell everybody where it's at?
1104 International Plaza Drive, St. Anne, Missouri. It's right down the street retirement, not retirement, but it's assisted living.
Okay, so it's the one by the community center?
Yes.
Okay. Bob, is all the stuff up to par on?
We haven't done the inspection yet. It is for 55 and older. They've got 40 beds in the facility. They're expected 14 employees, and there will be nursing on staff.
Steve came out and did the inspection.
Not with Sandy.
Oh,
Yeah, you gotta go
okay.
through this first, correct?
Okay, cool.
Gotcha. Okay, does the board have any questions?
How many can you hold?
40.
40?
Yeah. I'm currently at 20-25 right now.
Oh, so you're actually there already out with
Yeah.
Okay. If there are no other questions, can I get a first and second from the board of Aldermen? Matt, roll call? No roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so welcome to St. Anne. You guys take good care of this. All right, board, at this time, we didn't get it on the agenda, but I would like to appoint two, police commissioners to take the place of, Joe Simpson, and Leo McGagan has resigned as well. I'd like to appoint Linda Stidman as an alternate to the police commission, and Tony Thomas as an alternate to the police commission.
They're alternates, or are they actually gonna be?
They're alternates, they do get to listen in on the meeting, but if it's a full board, only the ones that are.
Oh, so they already been replaced? Oh, so Leo and Joe.
Leo
have
has
been-
resigned and Joe has resigned.
But they've been replaced?
They've been
already?
replaced with the other two alternates. that
Oh,
we
okay, got
moved
it.
up.
Okay.
So basically, it allows us a better capability of having an actual 12-person vote.
Yep.
Any other questions? All in favor?
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, a first and a second, please. Thanks, Chris.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we welcome them to the board.
Thanks, Mayor.
At this time, if there are any comments on the agenda from the audience, can you come up? Anything on the agenda? Okay. Hearing none, we will move on. Okay, first reading of bill number 3477, an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with Floridel Hills for court administrative services. Second reading of bill number 3477, an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with Floridel Hills for court administrative services. Matt, would you?
This is just another court, a small municipal court that would like to join the consolidated municipal courts. The court administrator, based on their number of cases, believes that we can take them on at minimal effort.
Anybody have any questions?
Where's that located?
Floridel Hills.
Yeah, where's that located?
Over by Beverly Hills,
Is that one, okay, Virginia Park, or?
It's a co-op.
yep, it's with North County, yeah, police cooperative.
Very big.
No,
Yeah,
small.
And obviously, there's the board and the mayor, there's a lot more cities too in the works and things that are, you're gonna see probably within the next year, happening. So as administrations change, mayors and so on, you'll see, Sandy and trying to help as many municipalities in the fight against Better Together's nonsense.
Sounds wonderful. Okay, I need a first and second motion, please.
Second.
Matt, roll call.
Marino,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
Sparks, is excused. Murphy,
Yes.
Jimenez, Crony,
Yes.
Shy.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Bill number 3477 becomes ordinance number 5382. First reading of bill number 3478, an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with the St. Louis County Emergency Communications Commission. Second reading of bill number 3478, an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with the St. Louis County Emergency Communications Commission. Matt?
Yes, this is an agreement with the County Emergency Communications Commission, allows us to use the county emergency radio system and the 911 system. So the original agreement was good for X number of years, I think it was 5 years. So this is just renewing the agreement under the same terms.
Questions?
Mayor, board, I just wanna let you guys know too, Matt doesn't like talking about this, but when he sits on the board, it, carries a lot of good insight for municipalities and the 911 operation system along with dispatching and so on. So as much as he doesn't like to talk about that, we're very appreciative for his insight that he gives us. It's well appreciated. So I wanna make sure that you, Mayor, and the board know that although he doesn't like talking about that, it really helps us as a police department.
Yeah, very important position to have. Okay. The board did not have any questions, correct? All right, we need a first and second motion, please.
Second.
Matt, roll call.
Nice, excused. Marino,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
excused. Murphy,
Yes.
Jimenez, Crony,
Yes.
3478 becomes ordinance number 3383. Okay, first reading of bill number 3479, an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with the Department of Homeland Security. Second reading of bill number 3479, an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with the Department of Homeland Security. Matt?
This is, agreement with Homeland Security to house, I guess for the Borders and Customs Division, people who are being detained, specifically, I think, over at the airport.
Correct, this will be just for the airport alone. They're roughly probably looking at anywhere from 2 to 3 citizens, or I shouldn't say citizens, people who are undocumented that will come in from, whether it's Africa, Mexico, other countries. They do not have any documentation, or they've been allowed to leave from that country. They come over here, and when customs looks at their documentation and it's not legit, or they've paid off airlines and stuff like that to get here, then we are holding them for about 24 hours until that plane, that day or the next. Then they'll come, they'll pick them up here, take them right back to that plane, put them on the plane. We make the money for that, and then off they go back to their country. But that, just to make sure, well, because I've had other phone calls from districts, school districts, and so on. This has nothing to do with us trying to go out and enforce immigration status, anything like that. I'm gonna make this clear, this is right now, this is about the airport and people that are being undocumented who are coming over here to the St. Louis area, and they cannot get status for that.
Still pretty impressive that they asked us.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, does the board have any questions? Okay, I need a first and a second motion, please. Matt, roll call?
Marino,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
Sparks is excused. Murphy,
Yes.
Jimenez,
Yes.
Crony,
Yes.
Shy.
Yes.
Thank you. Bill number 3479 becomes ordinance number 3384. First reading of bill number 3480, an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to execute an agreement with Westport Pools for lifeguard services. Second reading of bill number 3480, an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to execute an agreement with Westport Pools for lifeguard services. Matt?
This is the, there's an agreement with Westport Pools. It's the same, type of agreement we had, before when the pool was open. This is just for the new aquatic center. So this covers the lifeguard services and the management services for the, aquatic center from Memorial Day through, the middle of, actually through Labor Day, with, the hours being adjusted, at the end of August, when school's going back, so be a little short on the time. But that's pretty much normal these days, because they can't get kids to work, and, lifeguards.
If I recall right from the meeting 2 weeks ago, that was $260,000.
Yep.
Does the board have any questions? Does that include management?
Yes.
All right,
And they also staff the front desk area for the admissions.
gotcha. And if we have any other add-ons, we can pay extra.
Yeah, I mean, if there's, somebody rents the pool out for, after-hours party, then there would be an additional fee for that, if the people are in the pool that day.
Gotcha. All right, I need a first and second motion, please.
First.
Roll call?
Ms. Marino,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
Murphy,
Yes.
Jimenez,
Yes.
Crony,
Yes.
Shy.
Yes.
Thank you. Bill number 3480 becomes ordinance number 3385. First reading of bill number 3481, an ordinance of the city of St. Anne, Missouri, amending the 2023 general and special funds budget, authorizing certain additional expenditures and making certain adjustments. Second reading of bill number 3481, an ordinance of the city of St. Anne, Missouri, amending the 2023 general and special funds budget, authorizing certain additional expenditures and making certain adjustments. Matt, can you explain?
Yep, so this is, every year, the auditors go through, they do, their first part of their work, and then, we take that information and, we have to make, the adjustments that they, highlight. We also do a compilation of all the, extra, things that we have done throughout the year, as far as things that weren't necessarily included in the budget, but had been passed by the board as the year went on. So, we do the ordinance, and then they, will take that and make the adjustments, and then hopefully give us our final audit. It's been very challenging this year. The auditors, nobody wants to be an auditor either, they just want to be a lifeguard. So municipal, the companies that do municipal auditing, generally, there used to be a lot of smaller auditing companies that just did audits. They've pretty much all been merged and bought out by larger companies that do consulting as their primary business and auditing is their second. And so they're having a hard time keeping staff and doing audits turned around in a timely manner. So hopefully,
It'd be the IRS eating up 87,000 more.
I don't know. From what I've read, and I sent you the article, I think it's just nobody wants to be an auditor. It's just being a CPA is not an easy thing to do. So, so hopefully, I had a talk with the managing partner, and hopefully this year's audit, which, you know, theoretically that will be starting here very shortly, will go much better than this year's did as far as time goes. So, we'll see.
Okay. Any questions, please? First and second motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Matt, roll call?
Marino,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
Sparks, Murphy,
Yes.
Jimenez,
Yes.
Crony,
Yes.
Shy.
Yes.
Thank you. Bill number 3481 becomes ordinance number 3386. First reading of bill number 3482, an ordinance amending certain provisions of the municipal code relating to vehicles in the process of restoration. Second reading of bill number 3482, an ordinance amending certain provisions of the municipal code relating to vehicles in the process of restoration. Matt?
This is the bill that we've discussed the last couple of meetings. So it's the bill that was in the packet for the, when I sent out via email for the committee meeting, so everybody had it. It's also in the current packet, so this is the final bill for the car restoration ordinance.
Does the board have any questions? Jenny, satisfied?
Yes.
Okay. I need a first and second motion, then, please.
Second.
Roll call?
Marino,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
Murphy,
Yes.
Jimenez,
Yes.
Crony,
Yes.
Shy.
Yes.
Thank you. Bill number 3482 becomes ordinance number 3387. Dan, if you could let your resident know.
Yeah.
All right, I need approval of reports and warrant list, please. First and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's passed. At this time, we have public comment on non-agenda items. I believe we have a representative from American Water, Susan Harris, if you'd like to come up.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome in.
Hello, everyone. I'm Susan Harris with Missouri American Water. This is my contractor, Joe Grillo. He is with C.E. Bowmeyer. The reason we're here tonight is EPA passed a regulation, 2020-ish, and finalized it this year. And part of that regulation is we have to get an inventory of all of the service line material, not just our asset, but also the customer asset, which we don't have records on because we don't own it. So, right? So what we're trying to do is go and get that data. The easiest and least intrusive way to do that is to go inside the resident's home and look and see what the service line material is coming through the foundation. So Joe Grillo with C.E. Bowmeyer, they have canvassers that will come door to door, and they're going to be going inside the houses, and they'll take a photo of that material so we have a physical record of it. And then that way we can log it on that address, and then we can give that data to EPA, who also is working with Missouri DNR. So we're gonna be working with them as well. So that's what we're here tonight to discuss, is first we're gonna get the inventory, and then once we find out if that material, the service line material, is lead or galvanized, if it is, we will go in there and replace that service line for the customer from that location coming in through the foundation at the shutoff valve, all the way back to the meter, or if necessary, all the way back to the main, the water main. This is gonna be not a direct cost to the customer. If we did require that, some water systems aren't doing that, it'd be at least $4,000 or $5,000 at the very minimum, at the very minimum. So we're spreading that across the entire state, across our districts. Public Service Commission is thrilled that we're doing that and excited that we're helping our customers out, because a lot of people just don't have that kind of money sitting around.
So it's a charge on the bill.
It will, and we did a calculation, I think it's like 11 cents a month more compared to what it would be if you had to do it yourself. So that's very, very reasonable. So I asked Joe to come tonight so he could kind of tell you about that process of doing the canvassing. We wanted to also make the police department aware of that so they would know what was going on. Bob has been working with us fantastically. We're also gonna try and work with the Public Works Department to make sure that we prioritize areas where we're doing replacements before you do your road work. Because we don't want, we don't want people to pay for that twice, right? Because that's what you're gonna do.
Right.
So we're trying our best to make sure that we're getting that done first. So we're gonna prioritize those areas. Bob, of course, has given us that list of areas that we need to look at. So we're gonna do that first. So I'll let Joe go ahead and talk to you about the process, and then he'll talk to you about the canvassing, and then how they do the replacement so it's least intrusive for the customer as well.
Sounds good.
Alright, so I do have, I think I'm up to 10 to 13 canvassers now. They all have an American Water Contractor badge, so if anybody asks for it, we have it. We do wear hard hats, class 3 safety vests, so they are recognizable. We have cars out on the street, they're usually an Equinox, like a white Equinox, help us get the lead out, has our logo on it, so they may not be right in front of the house we're at, but at least we can point to the direction of where the car is. So my guys will walk up, knock on a door. If somebody answers, they try to get inside to see that material. If the people aren't comfortable letting them in, they can make an appointment in a number of different ways. We have door hangers with QR codes. American Water's website has a way that they can either self-identify or schedule an appointment with us. If we don't make contact with anybody, we do leave a door hanger with some contact information on it so they can get in contact with us. And if we find lead or galvanized, we have a packet here that has an agreement in it also. But this kind of just describes the whole process. I think I saw some papers up here, some of the lead papers. That's just a condensed version of what is in this packet. And I will leave a few of these packets and door hangers with you when I leave today. We just walk up and down streets trying to get inside the house. If we get in, we take a picture, upload it to American Water's website. We know what the material is. We do have a list of what it is on the company-owned portion. So if we know it's lead, we still hand out the agreement, or the packet. They don't have to sign the agreement unless there's lead or galvanized on the customer-owned portion. That allows us to do work on their own service line.
I got a question. So,
do you have to go in the house? So like my house, I'm on St. Francis, I have a meter in my front yard, so if you open up the meter, you can see what pipe's coming in from there and what pipe's going towards the house.
We can identify that way, that's not the best way to identify, just in case that meter was put in a later date. Cause then it may be copper there, but tied into a galvanized line, so.
Plus you're changing meters too, aren't you?
When we do the
I'm
replacement.
at a daycare, so, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't even have a meter in my house anymore.
Yeah, when we do a replacement job, the meter does go outside.
And is it underground?
Yes.
That's what we assumed. When we
Yeah,
find
it would be,
anywhere.
your typical meter, you know, a 5/8, 3/4 meter would be like a 12-inch round, you know, lid that you'd see from the ground, but it's at ground level, so you can mow over it.
And that's what all those potholes were done by, or for too, I guess, cause my yard had a pothole put in it. from-
Yeah, typically, I'm not sure if you.
I don't
if
wanna,
you do. Okay,
so a couple of points.
yeah.
So we have learned, we've done this since 2017, right? And we have 3 excellent contractors, Bowmeyer's one of those, that are doing the replacements for us. We have learned over that time that the last piece of service line material that is replaced is the one that's right through that foundation going back. So that way we can confirm and make sure that you're taken care of. We don't wanna leave it. We don't wanna risk that.
No, I get
Yeah,
that.
so, and that's something you can share, of course, with, the
Right.
citizens and residents here. And that condensed version that Joe was talking about, it has all the information on there. And it also, everything we have right now has a QR code on it. So you can get to that QR code, if you scan that in, right? So if you scan that in, it will take you to our website, and what I tell people is to go to the big blue rectangle on that website, and you click on there and it'll get you to a map, and you can type in your address, and it'll give you the data that we have for your address. And so that way you can see what we have for material. You can take a photo, if you know where your service line is in your house, you can take a photo and upload it onto, when you're in that map, you can upload it into there, and we won't need a contractor to come out. They'll confirm it, unless there's a question, right? Some folks, I know you can't believe it, but they might take a photo of the piping under their sink. We're like, no, that's not what we need.
The other problem too is finished basements too, I mean, like mine
Yes.
is finished, so I mean,
Yes.
it's not real good access to that pipe coming out from the foundation. either,
Right,
so-
right. So, but if you can, customers can provide their own photos. And these gentlemen, oh my gosh, they're doing, 2,000 plus, inside inspections a month. So they are very savvy about how to look at the material. Yes.
What are the hours that you guys do that?
Excellent question.
Yeah, it's all different hours. Normally it's 9, like a typical day would be a 9 to 5, but we do come out on weekends and we do adjust our hours occasionally to grab the people that aren't always home the same working hours that we
Yeah.
work.
One of the things that, Mayor, we can do, we can put that on our Neighborhood Watch Facebook page, that if they feel uncomfortable, if they're, senior citizens or whatever, that if they call us, we know them, and then we can say, hey, listen, we'll even stand by and wait in the house until they're finished.
Makes you
Doing what they gotta
guys
do, and it builds that good relationship, even though we know them, and they're very good people, and make your, residents feel good. So we'll put that out, first thing in the morning.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we want those customers feeling comfortable, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I guess if we do find letter galvanized inside the home, then we're gonna replace the water line all the way in. We'll drill a new hole in the foundation wall, and we'll dig the meter pit hole out in the yard. If there's a sidewalk, usually it's on the house side of the sidewalk, and then we pneumatically mold from inside the house out. So there's typically not an excavation up by the house. It's all, at that meter pit hole, and then wherever the water main's at, we do the same pneumatic hole out to that. So it's not real invasive. We try not to be invasive. We try not to dig up everybody's whole front yard or anything like that. We keep our holes tight. We keep them small. We usually backfill and restore the same day we're out there doing the work, as long as it's not like St. Charles Rock River or something like that.
Yeah, I was impressed that they did mine, that they were actually able to get from a hole that was easily 6 or 8 feet away from my house. And still connected up to the pipe inside the house. So that's pretty cool.
How's this
Yeah.
map?
So those are zones. What American Water has done is, I forget what was it 500?
500.
Okay.
500 customers are in each of those colors. It
Yeah.
just makes it easier to communicate with the canvassers.
Yeah.
We're in this zone today, and then also if you have questions, what zones are you in? You know, the police department has a question, what zones are you in? They can tell you, so that helps. Oh, and on the meter replacements, the Public Service Commission requires us to replace those every 10 years. So it depends on when the meter was first put in, on when it's gonna be replaced, if it's, you know, not a lead service replacement. We're gonna move those out when we're there. Why waste resources to do that twice?
So I do have a question.
Mhm.
Since we can't see those meters anymore, how would a normal customer be able to indicate if they've got, you know, water leak in their house?
Excellent question. We have the AMI system now, and so it will alert us if there's a leak or something like that, high flow, more than normal. So we can check that internally. Also, if you just, you know, if you see something going on with your bill or something like that, of course, let us know. And again, they can check that internally and check those records. And if it was a leak, you can get credit back.
Can you explain what an AMI is?
It is technology, like cyber technology. So
The
it's
AI
sending out.
stuff?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
well, sort of. It's sending out the data through cellular, I believe. There's different ways, cellular or radio, but it will send out a signal, and then from that signal we grab that data.
And what will we do if we lose all that?
I know, right? I agree. We're very, very lucky to have that.
Does the board have any questions?
Yes, I do. My question, once you find it, how long does it take for you guys to come into the home and actually rectify the issue that you found?
So typically, like now, we're doing a lot of work in Overland. We're kind of wrapping up that work. We're booked out through probably the end of January. But if I have an engaged customer, if we find lead in your house and you say, I want it out, then we can typically get you on the schedule in probably with anywhere between 3 weeks and a month. The way we
You
operate.
can come to my home.
On that note, when we do, I don't wanna forget this, when we do a replacement, we will provide a pitcher and filter to the customer to use during that time, after the replacement is made. So that way you can filter your water and make you feel more comfortable. Nothing's wrong with your water. It's just we're doing that as part of the regulation, but we provide that to make you feel more comfortable and at ease. Within 3 months of that replacement, you will get a postcard in the mail, and it will ask if you want to have if you want to collect samples to verify the condition of the water. And so if you would like that, they will send a sample kit to you, and then you'll take those samples and then send it back. We're not gonna cause you or charge you for sending it back, it's all included. So you'll send it back and then you'll get the results on that. But we recommend you use that pitcher filter just during that time for consumption.
Thank you.
I had a question. We had someone come out to check our line and they said it's not lead,
Okay,
which is wonderful.
Right.
But then now my next door neighbor is, I saw that he's getting his line replaced because he does have lead. So now I'm worried that they didn't do my check right.
well, they should have done it right. If you do have my email address and my phone number, right? Phone number is cell number. You are welcome to text me your address and everything, or you can go to the website too and look on
Okay, so
there.
it's on American Water's website. That's where the residents can
Yes.
put in their
Now,
address.
I do have to tell you that our corporate office right now is doing some upgrades. And so some of the data that we just recently collected, it might be a little delay in getting up there. But if you give me your address, if you give me your email address or whatever, then I can get a hold of the folks that are looking through that data, the hard data, and we might be able to find it that way. So if it's not updated on the website, don't panic. It's just they're doing upgrades, so we gotta wait through that time. You all have experienced that. So, that's what's going on.
And Jenny, some houses have probably already had their water lines
Yes.
replaced on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved in 32 years ago, immediately we had a water lateral break.
Oh, okay.
So they basically put in copper at that point in time from my house to the street, but they didn't put it from the street to the main. So that's why they came and redid my house.
Well, and that's why I was wondering too, because my water line is not copper,
Okay,
so I'm thinking,
Galvanized?
yeah. What's the difference between the galvanized and the
if
lead?
it is galvanized, we will do a replacement because of the regulation and because of the science behind it. Galvanized can pit, and so if there's any lead particles there, it can make deposits in there. To let y'all know, on a service line, there's we'll call it calcification, all right? So there's a calcification that goes on the pipe after time it builds up because we use lime softening. We're never gonna change from lime softening. We have to use the river, there's just no other way. So, you are protected with that.
Okay.
You're fine.
Yeah, you guys blue lighted somehow too, don't you?
I'm not quite sure about that, but no, UV, you mean?
UV, yeah.
We are not doing UV at the treatment plant at this time. Water safe we test it all the time. Find no reason to do that. Plus, if you think about the capacity that plant's putting out, the footprint of that UV would be quite large. So anyways, we don't need to do that, so we're not going to do that at this point. Everything we tested out fine.
Okay, so with this program, you're replacing both lead and
Yes,
galvanized?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Only to the entry valve.
Yeah, only to the entry valve inside the home, the shut-off valve.
Right.
So we wouldn't do internal plumbing, because I'm sure you can imagine that's not possible.
Well, no.
What do you do, so, I mean, everybody know, or galvanized and copper is not a good mix, I mean. so
We
is
do
there an
have,
actual-
we do have couplings there,
Okay.
dielectric couplings
Okay.
that will sever the connection there to make sure, of course, yes, we don't wanna do that, that would be bad.
Question from the audience?
I got a question.
Sure.
Am I understanding this right? What you're gonna do is take the meters out and put them outside?
Yes, if they are inside, and we're doing a replacement, only
Okay.
on the replacements.
Okay, so if you're taking the meter out and the shut off is before the meter, then you're not stopping at the shut off, you're going above the meter.
Just
Okay.
maybe like a foot or,
Well, to
Something
where,
like
to where the, what's that, union called?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you go up to that?
Yep.
Okay.
good question.
He's
Yes.
hired.
I don't wanna.
Ours has a meter inside, which was installed about 5 years ago,
Uh-huh,
and it has a remote reader outside.
uh-huh.
Is there any reason why that needs to change?
They do wanna take it outside just because, what if you have, some kind of issue with it, and that way we don't have to get inside and bug you again. If they're on their property, let's just get it done and just move it out, and then that way it's just a lot easier in the long run in the future. If we have boots on the ground, why pay for it twice, right? Let's
Why
be
do it at
efficient.
all? There's nothing wrong with what's there. They can read it from outside.
Well, but if
Because
there's
the
a
EPA told them
malfunction
they
or
had to.
something in the meter, and we have to replace it every 10 years because of the Public Service Commission, and they wear out, the equipment wears out. So every 10 years, we do have to replace it regardless. So we might as well, if we're out there doing the work, we might as well get it done while we're out there doing the work. Hopefully that makes sense.
And how large is the outside unit currently being installed?
It would be that 10-year cycle, once it's, whatever
What I
cycle
got-
it's
What I
on.
got now is this big.
Mhm.
So
Reader on the
you'll
outside.
have a 12-inch round lid that sits in your front yard that will be at the ground level.
There is no hole out there at this point.
No, there won't be an open hole when we're done. Obviously, if you take the lid off, there would be an open
I
hole.
understand what the wells are, but there is
Okay.
not one now.
Alright, Ed, can you finish this afterwards?
Yeah.
They'll be here.
Okay.
Are there any other questions for American Water Board?
Yeah, and we really appreciate your help with this. The best way to do this is customer engagement. So if you guys could get the, information out to the residents, that would be fantastic. And, if there's renters, sometimes it's hard for us, we have to have the homeowner sign off on that agreement because it's not our asset. So we need them to give us permission to do that, of course, right?
Right?
And so, if we need to track down the homeowner, we might need help doing that.
I think Chris probably
Yeah, we wanna take care of people while we're here, you know, while we have, our crews mobilized, let's get it done.
Yeah.
And then we wanna be able to say here in St. Anne that this is a lead-free city, so let's get to that. Yes, all right?
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, appreciate it.
Appreciate your work.
Mayor, all of our facilities are being looked at next week.
Sounds good. Were there any other questions or comments from the audience for the board? You wanna
Oh,
speak,
you
Vic?
ready? This is the same thing, so you're probably all tired of seeing me, but here we go again. I went to a meeting with Bob and Aaron.
Yes, sir.
And I hope I made myself clear, maybe not, but I hope I made myself clear in that those two businesses jumped through the hoops that you put them through. And I have no argument with them. They did what they were supposed to do. My argument is with you all. You all are supposed to represent the citizens of St. Anne. I don't think that was done. I don't think that you looked at it as, is this a business that should be in a residential area or next to a residential area? Either or. And so what I'm asking you to do is revisit this whole thing and take a look at it and tell me why you think that's a good place for that trucking business. Because I don't think it is at all.
Well, let me ask you this, why would we wanna revamp it when it's already been done? I mean, I don't know why we would wanna look over it, what have you already done, you know what I'm saying? It's already passed. I mean, I understand that you're not happy with the situation, but I know when I voted on it, I got all the facts and we talked to the gardeners and all that. I did at least, and I was under the estimate that everything, or under the assumption, that everything was, you know, to par, but I mean, for what they're saying they're gonna do now with the sidewalk, with the bushes and all that, how they're gonna redo everything, I mean, I'm totally okay with it.
You don't live next to it. Did you ask yourself that before you voted for it?
I don't live that far from it,
Oh, please.
but you said yourself that you go to sleep and you don't even hear it at night, am I right? I mean, do you hear it all the time when you're at home?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And now, they're lining up their trucks on Old
Right.
St. Charles
I've
Road.
seen that. They're
It's like a
walking- they're
giant
walking.
billboard now.
Well, no, but they're
Well,
just
yeah.
doing that, I understand that, but they're just doing that just until they finish with the bushes and all that,
Correct.
am I right?
Yes, that's what they said.
They think that is stopping the noise?
No, that's what they said at our meeting, that they're gonna do that temporarily until they get the bushes up. They told us all that at the meeting.
And they think that's stopping the noise?
No, they're trying to
Probably
just,
the view.
anything they can help.
Well, that's a worse view than what was there before.
I mean,
In my
I'm
opinion.
not trying to be.
I understand.
I know, I mean, I get it, but I mean, and not only saying that, I mean, I'm not saying, well, honestly, you're the only ones I know of that came to me as, you know, Ward 4, I don't know what Ivan, how many, you know, came to him, but you're the only one that I know in Ward 4 that's complaining about it.
Well, I will organize and get some other
Well,
people
at
for you.
that last
Okay.
meeting, we had the young lady from the apartments that heard the noise in the middle of the night too.
Oh, the lady from the Emerald,
From Imperial.
or Imperial,
Yeah. Okay, I'll get a whole bunch of other people together.
that's fine.
All right.
And
That's
I'm
what
not,
it
I'm
takes.
not trying, hey, I'm.
No, if that's
I
what
mean-
it takes, that's all right, you told me.
No, I'm just saying, but I mean, when we talked about this and when they came to us and talked and told us about what they're gonna do, I mean, we all knew exactly what was gonna be going on. Now,
Oh, I believe
I
you.
will say this, the one thing that I would mind talking to them about is why there's so many trucks up there. I mean, cause I do remember talking about how that there was gonna be a certain number, that they were gonna have only a certain number of trucks.
15 sticks in my head, but 9 o'clock
They
at night
actually,
stuck
they
in my
actually
head
have
too.
less actual trucks, actually the cabs of the trucks. I think they have, how many, Bob, did they say that they put on the road at one time?
3.
3.
Well,
Real quick though.
Sure.
Because of what I'm witnessing right now.
Okay.
So, at the meeting, you were happy with what we were gonna do.
I was not happy.
Oh,
No, that's why I said I
all right,
hope I
so
was
real
clear.
quick, this is what I wanna know real quick. Out of respect to Dave,
Who's Dave?
the owner of Northwest Crossing.
Okay.
If you're not gonna be happy with what he's proposed to do, I'm gonna tell him that he does not have to do that. Because he was
Right.
solely doing that to make you happy over there. That was the whole point of you being in that meeting. And you were happy.
I don't believe that at all, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Aaron, you spoke up and said I was being rude at that meeting.
It was only just the one comment.
That's beside the point.
But
You
afterwards,
spoke up and said I was being rude at that meeting. Later on, that gentleman, Vale, threatened me. It was Vale, but he threatened me. You didn't say a word.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So can I say something?
When he said he was gonna get his lawyer
So
in.
can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
Can we try to work together and let them try to fix the issue? And then if it's not fixed with what they have proposed, then we can come back and talk about it after that, but at least give them a chance to rectify it. Because we did as a board, I wasn't on the board, but at that time, it was voted on to the company to be fair. We also went to them and said, hey, this is an issue, right? They met, they're willing to spend a nice amount of money to try to rectify it. So let's see if what they do with putting the sidewalk there and the trees to rectify it. And if it doesn't, then you can come back and say, hey, this noise, this look that they've done is still not good. And then we go to them, and then we try to come up with a different solution. I think it's fair if we just at least try it. Everybody just step back a little bit and just try to see what a resolution is. Because if you think about it, the city of St. Anne is working with this business that's bringing revenue into our homes and things of that nature, right? And it also brings property value up. But at that time, they did something that you did not agree with, and now they're trying to rectify it. I'm just saying to be fair, and everyone just give it a chance. And if it doesn't work, then you can always come back, and we're always willing to hear you.
Michelle,
Uh-huh.
with what I was saying earlier, so I would rather the gardeners put their money into a new business than plant trees, if it's not gonna make anybody happy. So if we're
We're
gonna,
gonna spend $180,000.
yeah, if we're gonna be addressing this every meeting,
Yeah.
then I'm definitely calling Dave up.
Well, yeah,
telling him,
I
don't worry about
can
that.
agree with that, $180,000,
But
yeah.
board also at the same time, when you're, and I'm sorry, Vic, because I've learned a lot, and I even apologized 2 meetings ago about you wanting to resolve. But then you sit here and then you just, oh, fine, I'm just gonna get a whole lot of people. I'm telling you, as a board, you're elected, very popular, you guys do a good job, you stick to your guns here. That's the attitude that's gonna have, and we're always been nice, we've always played the game, then stick to your guns, because that business and that mall is revitalized thanks to Matt and all of you, and they bring in a lot of money for this town. So when he says go and get all the other people, I'll be right back out there too then, because I know what they've done, and they contributed a lot to homeless, getting food, paying people's bills, doing a lot of stuff. When him and I were in that meeting, I'm sorry, I thought you were at least somewhat happy. You weren't exactly happy, but you said, yeah, that you would wait till April or May for them to get the trees in. We all shook hands and left. That was it. Right.
I must have been in a different meeting. But, to address what you said, that company is not raising property values where I live. It's lowering them.
Right, but if they do put in the trees to improve the appearance, so that once those trees that are designed to grow very quickly, so those trees will grow up in a few years and they'll be like full size.
They're put in big.
Oh, they're pretty mature trees, okay.
That's why it's so expensive.
Okay, so they're gonna put in mature trees. That's going to reduce the amount of,
Sight and sound.
yeah, sight and sound that you and your other neighbors are going to experience. And then when I, as a person, say I was looking for a house in your neighborhood, when I drive by, I'm not gonna see a truck driving school, I'm gonna see these nice manicured trees. And it's going to actually improve the property values there. So, you know, I think that,
And the sidewalk, because if you think about it, it's really helping with safety. So I always tell people, and this is my biggest thing, sometimes in life, we have to give a little to take a little. And I say that because we are a community. And a little bit of noise to save a lot of lives for that street, that sidewalk they're gonna put in, I'll take a little bit of noise for that, right? And if we can put some trees up there to make sure that it looks better when you look out your front door, that looks better, right? So sometimes, and I'm not telling you how to think, I'm just saying, us as a community, we have to think about those things. How do I give a little to take a little? I know the truck driving school is getting on your nerves, I hear you loud and clear, but I also want you to hear us to say, hey, We have people that walk up and down that road, that sidewalk that they're putting in can save some children's lives.
How many lives have been lost there?
I don't know, but I
I'd
don't
like to
wanna,
know.
I
You're-
don't wanna
you're saying
take,
it's
but
gonna
this is
save
the
them.
thing, I don't want any lives to be lost, right?
I
So
don't either.
even if there hasn't been any, I'm just thinking about the what ifs, right? And that's all I'm saying. I'm saying give a what if thought. Maybe there's no lives that have been taken, but there's a possibility because there's danger there. So how do we fix that? How do we come together? And if we have a company that's willing to do that for us, maybe we take a little bit of noise. But if they're gonna put trees up, then maybe we look at that and say, hey, that's beautification, property value, and all of that. So I'm telling you that I hear you, but $180,000 and it's still gonna be a problem, I'm with Bob. I wouldn't wanna spend $180,000 out of my pocket and still have a resident saying that it's an issue. So I ask you to please think about it, to say to yourself, can I give them a little bit of chance for this noise and let them spend $180,000 for the residents, for beautification and property value? And if not, then that's fine too, but I just ask you to think about it.
I'll think about it.
Thank you, thank you.
However, you ever a real estate appraiser?
Do I know one?
Were you ever one?
No, I was not.
You?
No.
Anybody on this board? I was. That is negatively affecting my property.
The
Truck
right
driving
now.
school, right?
Correct.
Right now it is. But
It's
once
going
the
to afterwards.
improvements-
So one second, Jenny. Do we have any type of paperwork that says, as an appraiser, right, you brought this up,
Mhm.
that it's affecting your value either way? I'm not,
Well, I can get it together for you.
right,
Sure.
but this is my thing. We can go back and forth, but I'm asking
Okay.
you just to think about it and
All right,
then
I'll think
see
about
if, yeah, and if you think about it and it's still a no, will you think about all of the positive things? Because sometimes we have to write things down. This is the negative and this is the positive. The positive is we get a sidewalk for safety and we get a beautification and it also can raise property value. The negative is it's a little bit of noise, right? That you stated yourself, standing here, that sometimes you're asleep, that you don't hear it all the time. So for the times that you hear it, is it worth not doing that? So that's all I'm asking
It
you
is
to
to
do.
me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other public comments? Okay, Chief, you're up.
Do not have any time.
Nothing?
No.
Okay, how were the accidents on the roads? Dirty stuff.
We went out all day, yesterday and this morning too, helping a lot of residents, especially senior citizens. One of the biggest complaints, just to make sure that the public and the board and mayor, that you hear that, is that, they were cleaning the ends of the driveway out. We had a couple new guys that were new, and I'm not in charge of the street department, but when they were coming through, the snow was going back up at the end of the driveway. And actually had a couple people that were breaking down, crying on the phone. So about 4 or 5 of us went out. Yesterday was from 9 to about 7:30 at night. And then today, we stopped around 4 and then make sure that we went to those people and just dug them out. So, just to make sure that you guys know that. And tomorrow, there's already 2 or 3 that have called. So, doing what we can to help out on top of what the street department's doing. So, doing something positive again.
Thank you. And on behalf of Brian, who cannot be here this evening.
Well, it could be, but.
Well, he could be, but we let him sleep. I just wanted to notate that they did an excellent job of the streets, and I'm hearing from people in Chesterfield, I know my daughters in O'Fallon and St. Charles still have not had their roads plowed, so, even though our residents sometimes think that we're not getting as much as they want, we're getting way more than a lot of other places. We really appreciate everything the staff does. Okay, any more session?
Anybody going around?
Thought we did that just during,
Hope that we did. You guys
during
didn't go
committee
around?
meetings, right?
It's not a committee.
Oh,
Well,
break
So I
something.
wanted to.
You don't mind?
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right. We'll go over.
Yeah, I wanted to bring.
If you guys want it, we'll do it.
Oh, sorry.
Dan?
No.
Becca?
Yes, Lord, I just wanted approval to use the Bond Center this Saturday for a brunch of the
good with that?
What I could hear you.
You don't use your microphone.
Oh, yeah, totally forgot.
All right, go for the gusto. Thank you so much.
So this is something that's open to the public?
It's for women. Yeah, it would say it's run for empowerment. Women. It's for office, just for women. It's an empowerment run for women from 1 to 4. Yes.
Okay.
For speakers, books, authors. Yeah. Tony's cooking, you can cook with Tony.
Okay, Philly, you got anything? No. Jen? No. Jenny?
Oh, now that you mention it.
Guys know?
I had a call from a resident today, who's actually one of our seniors, and he had, asked if we can, I don't know if it's a possibility or not, but do some sort of program, with the high schoolers, in the area to help seniors with their snowed-in driveways, kind of thing. Some kind of a program. I mean, I know we can't just, grab teenagers, whatever, but, we, if we could have, teens who would be willing to help out with that and, put something together, and then they can put that into the senior scoop, and then the senior residents would know, because a lot of senior residents aren't on Facebook, and so they don't know who's available to help them with the snow. And a lot of them, like Chief had said, can't do it. So,
We'll call Chris and Barry and, Dr. Kilbride and Dr. Nelson. We will call them first thing in the morning, and then we'll ask them if we can put something like that together, because there's already supposed to be snow on Friday,
Yeah.
so, but you
Yeah,
have.
we'll get another one.
And I think another thing too is just always trying to think and, actually be positive like we normally are. We've done the same thing. Everybody volunteers their time through this police department to go out, whether it was the flood, 2 or 3 times since 2013, storm damage, limbs down, leaves, all that kind of stuff. So just like yesterday and this morning, we're always willing to do that when people need help. So, and we start with the seniors first.
right.
So, and then, work our way behind that, so, but yeah, that's no problem, we'll call them right away.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yep, thank you.
Jenny, I have a question. So were you saying that the students could almost get community service hours? Like, cause I know
That would be
A+,
fabulous, I
there's
think.
a plus program
They can
as
get
well,
that
and,
too.
yeah, students are always
Yeah,
looking for ways
I mean,
to-
that
to
definitely
the
could
community.
be,
Okay, so that would be,
a program for them to be able to earn
And
community service
and
hours.
just so that you guys know, we've helped also with that, where it is a process, but we have actually, when they wash cars, we actually have to remove the weapons out of there and so on, right? And be very careful. But we've had them to where they're trying to earn community service hours, so this is a great idea.
Mhm.
But they've washed the cars before, they've come out, cleaned the lot, little stuff like that, so
Yeah.
no problem at all.
Okay, great, thanks.
idea.
And the community center
Yep.
does something too?
Yep, yes.
All right. Michelle?
Yes, Beck and I have been talking to Ann Cashco, and we would like to come together for the homeless people in our area. What can we do for them in this time, even if it's just blankets, coats, putting together little kits? If you guys, would like to help with that for the homeless that we have in St. Anne,
Well, maybe you could put together little kits the police officers can give them to them when they,
if they see them,
approach them.
SARS or something, if that's okay.
Just so you know too, let me make sure the public knows this too, we've even went out of our way twice. A lot of them don't wanna do this, and it does take extra manpower, but there was one about 3 or 4 years ago where and they normally find a spot, but we had somebody that was not in good shape, and I don't wanna say because the person's still homeless, but we actually, he or she, brought them in and let them shower, and also, gave them something to eat, and then we actually gave them a bed that was available, and then we told them, hey, when you want to leave, and so on, let us know, because obviously you don't wanna hold anybody against their will. Next thing you know, we're getting into a lawsuit and stuff like that, but we've actually had that. I don't wanna practice that too much, but that was like the last resort, but very, very appreciative. And then when we had West Bell come in with the Leeds diversion program, they were really good with that. Now, Bell's obviously, in DC, and so, hopefully that Melissa Smith, since the governor, did a great pick getting her in, we got to meet her today again, had a lot of good conversations right after the swearing in, and we'll find out what kind of diversion she's gonna have as well.
Thank you.
All right.
So I'll open the car wash if people wanna drop things off or whatever, and you guys can just drop it off at the car wash or Becca will come.
They will make a post for the residents too.
I'll make a post for the residents too,
I'm sure
and then,
plenty of them will
and then, and then we can just get whatever we get.
Yeah, I just know Anne, has been emailing us, and I just wanna make sure that she knows that we're on top of it, so.
And then we also have a book, when we had Julius here, he, actually put that up, actually, he's talking about, resigning at the end of the month, but that being said, we actually have a booklet that has all of those services, so we also have that, so that we can let you have that as well.
Oh, that'd be
Oh,
great.
that'd
be great.
Put that-
Yeah,
Yeah, and there's a lot, like I said, I am telling you, even from the joint charitable Christmas basket program, Mullers have given a lot of money to where, that's how we were funding that program since I took over as chairman, 2013. Even the police departments that were getting it refused to give us the $500. So somebody had to step in. Between them and Waste Connections, used to be Republic, we were functioning with about $4,000, which is a lot of money when people around here don't have it, so.
Look at all the blood, so, thank you.
All right. Then I'll ask for a first and a second motion for an adjournment. So moved. All right. Any opposed? Nope. We are adjourned.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Anything.
Yeah, I'll put,
No
I'll put,
problem.
stuff in the box.